Hey everybody. Last night me and Doug had to run to the store to get tortillas. I was going to make enchiladas. Didn't have any tortillas. He heads off to the store and I'm like, I'll ride with. So I go with him. And we were only supposed to go like this little store that's like 3 blocks up the street. I walk there. It's that close. I wasn't even getting out of the car. So we went to that first store. They didn't have what we wanted. They were out of them. So we go to the grocery store, the Walmart, and I waited in the car again. On the way back, we're at a stoplight. Now, mind you, we're just supposed to be going 3 blocks up the street. My hair looks like shit. I've got it pulled up in a pony, like a wad of a bun. I've got no makeup on and wearing shitty clothes. No intentions of ever seeing the outside of that car until I get home. We're at a stoplight, and it's like 4 or 5 lanes across Atlantic. We hear a thump. We hear like this massive bang. And Doug goes, "What the hell was that?" I said, "I don't know, but I heard it too." Doug usually don't hear shit. He's deaf as hell. And I look over, and on the next row over, right beside us, and one car up, the car's just moving, and you can see the silhouette of the windows are tinted really dark, but you can see the silhouette of 2 people tossing back and forth, and you can see the light of a cell phone, and it's a woman. She has long hair and she's holding a cell phone, and there's a bald-headed man, and he's just like snatching her around and he's pummeling her ass. And I was like, oh my god, there it is, it's right there, it's right there. The first thing Doug said was it sounded like something exploded. And then I saw the car moving around. When the light turned green, they didn't move. So we scooted up some, and I started laying on the horn. I didn't know what else to do, but I wanted him to know that someone was seeing this. And I'm laying on my horn and screaming. He finally just bolts. He just like takes off. And then he switches lanes. He's in front of us, and he's all over that lane. He can't even keep the car on the road. They're still fighting. You can see the silhouette of the 2 people at certain points when the light hits the front windshield. And we're behind him. I'm scrambling for my phone. I didn't bring it. No phone. Did not put my dash cam in when we left, which I always have my dash cam in, and I didn't put my dash cam in. We weren't supposed to be going very far. Thank goodness Doug had his phone. He leaves his a lot, but he had his phone. So the first thing I do is I call 911. And I rattle off the license plate. He's like, "What are you giving me?" I'm like, "Just remember this number. It's the plate of a car. There's a man beating the shit out of a woman at a stoplight. We're following them." And he's all over the road. They're still fighting. He has his turn signal on, and he turns down beside Arlington Toyota, like a little middle through road. There's like Arlington Toyota, and then there's another car lot here. He turns off that main road onto that little middle thoroughfare. It's not even a thoroughfare. It's a little dead end road. I didn't know it. Doug didn't either. I don't even know if that guy knew it. But he pulls over on that little side road, and they're still fighting. I jumped out of the car, still got the cops on the phone. They want addresses. I'm like, Arlington Toyota. There's a little middle road. I don't know what to tell you. I run up to the car, and as I'm screaming, I'm like, "Hey," I'm just like gonna lay into that window and let him know that I'm still watching and the cops are on the way. So he'll get off of this woman. He is still beating her. He's just beating her. And he sees me. He takes off. He's gone. He's straight down that little side road and around a curve. He like turns, and I don't know where it leads to. We don't know for sure. So I run back to the car, and I told the cop he just took off, and I'm following him. He was like, "You're still following this man?" I was like, "I'm absolutely following him. He's going to kill this chick if somebody doesn't put a stop to it." We get all the way up there. We turn. I'm still trying to describe to him where we're at. There's a bunch of, I guess it's an overflow area behind the car lot. Not the Toyota one, but the one next to it. That may actually be an extension of Arlington Toyota. I don't know. But it's like an overflow lot or area. And there's cars parked all along the grass bank on each side. And as we're passing, we see taillights of one of these cars. I look back, and it's them. He's pulled in and trying to blend in with the cars. We turned around, and I was like, "He's parked back here. He's trying to blend in with the cars." The cops were like, "We've got somebody on the way. Does she need paramedics?" I was like, "I'm sure she will, but I don't know." But he was beating her every time we saw him. We turn around, we come back. By the time we turn around, which took seconds, we never lost sight of them. They're out of the car, and he's putting her back in the car, and she's trying to get out of the car, and he's trying to put her back in. I get out of the car. Doug's facing the side of his car, like he's parked here. Doug's facing this way. I get out and walk over. I'm on the phone. I'm like, I got the cops on the phone. Don't you fucking touch her again. Keep your hands off of her. The blood is just pouring out of this woman's face like a faucet. I don't know how else to explain it. The blood is just pouring. Her lips are swollen. Her eyes are swollen. She has a gash across her nose. She's hysterical. Snot, slobber, tears, blood. It was a mess. He finally left her alone, and he looked at me and went, she hit me first. I said, I don't fucking care. I don't care. You put her out on the side of the road. You don't hit her. He was beating her so bad. Doug said he was beating the brakes off that bitch. That's what he said. He was beating her like a man. You know, he was literally beating her like he would beat a guy. And they asked me, well, I got her away from him, and he finally got in his car. He was walking like all around me at first and like freaking out. And Doug was still in the car, aimed at his car. And it's just the way we happened to pull in was just like that. He finally gets into the driver's side, and she's like, he's got my purse, I need it. I was like, get it and get away from the car. He gets in to the driver's side, and she's in the passenger side. I'm kind of over to his side. I'm not on her side over there. He's trying to pull her back in the car. She gets her purse, she gets out, and I'm screaming, get your hands off of her. And, you know, the cops are on the way. Stop. It's over with. Stop. So she gets away from him with her purse. As she's grabbing the rest of the stuff, I walked around because I thought she was going to need my help getting away from him at that point. So I'm standing behind the car. I looked him right through the window, the back window, and he looked right back at me and made eye contact and then went into reverse. And was and like bumped me with the car. He was trying to get me to move or run me over, and I told the 911 guy, I was like, this motherfucker just tried to run me over. He's like trying to back me over. And he was like, just let him just move, just get out of his way. And I was like, oh, I am, but I didn't know he was gonna back up, you know. It happened really quick. I hit the back of his trunk lid and was like, you almost fucking hit me. So he shuts the door, she comes around, and she's crying, and she's got this hand towel to her face at that point, this like terry cloth towel, and she's just like this, and it's soaked with blood. There's blood down the front of her pocketbook. She's crying, she's like, he's got my phone, and he had took off at that point, and the cop says to me, is he still on scene? I said, no, he's gone, go get him, we're not chasing him anymore. I mean, my whole agenda was to get her away from him, just to stop it. If you people could have seen how badly he was beating this woman. Have you ever seen a man beat somebody like that, Doug?
A man beat a man like that?
A woman.
Oh, no.
He says no, he's never seen a man beat a woman like that. I haven't either. I've seen a lot of men knock their women around, but I've never seen one beat that badly. He was really horrible. It was a Latino man. And I just could not believe how badly he beat her. And we walked on down. Doug drove down and got the name of the road that we were on to give to the police. They sent paramedics and the paramedics and the police. By the time they got there, she had already borrowed a phone from some guys working in the car lot, and she borrowed their phone because that dude still had her phone. And she called family, which I don't blame her, you know. But then when she got done, she looks at me and hands the guy the phone back, and she says to me, his name is Robert, blah, 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 blah. She gives me his name, his address, his social security number, his phone number. And I'm like, what are you doing? I'm sitting there thinking, you know, what are you fucking doing? And she goes, I've got to get back to my sister's baby shower. And I'm thinking, are you kidding me?
She didn't call family either. She called him.
She said she called family.
She called him. I was in the car. She was right beside me talking.
She was up by the shrubbery talking.
Well, I don't know about right at first, but then she walked across the ditch and came by the car. She was standing right beside me on the phone. She was talking to him.
How do you know she was talking to him?
Because she said, I hit you first? No, I don't even think so.
Oh, I think she called and argued with him, but I don't think she called to have him pick her up.
Yeah, I don't know.
Well, Doug just told me that she called him because she was standing right by the car when she was talking, but I think she must have called him and was arguing with him, but she called family to pick her up before that. Because when she first made the call, I was standing there for the first phone call. Apparently there were 2 calls because she was saying, he's been hitting me. I'm at this location. She was giving somebody some information of where she was at and what happened.
Yeah.
So she apparently called him after she called her ride. But the cop walks up as she's telling me, this is his name, this is his address. And I just went, lady, you're going to have to tell that to the cop. He just pulled up. Go tell him. I'm not going to be able to remember all that. She wanted me to cover all of it so she could go back to a baby shower. I got to go back to my sister's baby shower. And the way that she so freely left, she just walked away. The cop was getting information from me. Another cop pulled up. Doug got out of the car. He was like, did you see it? Doug said, yeah. And he gets out of the car and said it was pretty severe. He was beating the shit out of her. He was beating her bad. And the cop looks up and after he got my name and my number, and he goes, where'd she go? I said, she's walking down the road. She just left. She apparently called somebody to come pick her up. And he went, well, okay. So then the ambulance pulls up and they were like, she doesn't want any help. She's already walked down the road. You just passed her, you know. And the other cop that came up started kind of to laugh. And I said, look, this happens every single time I help a chick out like this. If I'm out and about and I see something like this, I'm not one of those kind of people that just goes, it's not my business. Of course it's your business. Think of all the times you've heard the stories on the news about a man beating a woman and it ends up being a beating to the point that she dies. And how many folks along their path during that fight just said, it's not my business, you know, because for whatever the reason, I don't know, lack of humanity. I don't know why people would walk away from that. I don't understand it, but I don't. Doug doesn't. We get involved. Doug told me when he saw him rev back, you know, with the car, he was milliseconds from ramming him. Doug was like, I was going to hit the side of the car to stop him from hitting you. He stopped. He said he was this close from getting his car rammed hard. And, you know, it all worked out for us, you know. I called the police. I didn't get physical with anybody. I never do. I never get physical with people with these. I just make a call. I let them know that the police are on the way. And, you know, and it's not a constantly occurring thing that happens, but when it does happen in my lifetime, I don't sit idle. I like to say that when, like one of my friends told me one of her stories last night about something she did in defense of somebody she didn't know that was being beat by her man. And she goes, I don't know what got into me. And I told her, sisterhood got into you, and good for you. It might take 3 women to take 1 man down, but it can be done. You know, men are stronger, yes, but there's no reason to be confrontational. There's no reason to be physical. You take it one step at a time. You only get physical if you need to, if they attack you, which I've never had that happen. Ever had that happen to me. I've never been attacked by the men. But there's no reason that anyone should ever just call the police and leave it alone. If I'd have done that, it would have took the cops forever to find them, if they ever did find them, because it was a little back road. And if I'd have just sat in my car and watched this happen, I'd have watched him beat her to death. Not acceptable for anyone to just sit idle and not do something. If you're physically unable, I can understand. But if you're capable and able to step in and protect somebody, you don't have to. If you can stand your ground and protect the life of yourself or some other with a gun, then you can do it the way I did it too. Mine was way less confrontational than a damn gun. She didn't pursue it. We all left and went on our merry way. And what it boils down to is I just wanted some fucking tortillas so that I could make enchiladas. I'm going to start putting my dash cam in. From now on, that's the whole point of having a dash cam. That's the whole point, you know? I used to say, I need to get a dash cam. I've got one and I didn't even have it in. I don't leave it in the car because I don't want someone to steal it. Even if I'm going a block or 2 up the road for something mild, something just, you know, quick, that doesn't mean life's still not happening all around me and I need to be able to catch it when it happens. It could help the police if they want to investigate something that I witnessed or whatever, you know. Everyone should have a dash cam. I think it should be mandatory in every car, to be honest. So, thanks for stopping by and listening to my shit. Don't be a pussy and let a man beat on you. She's an idiot. Hit the red button below and hang out with me some more. And everyone have a fantastic night. Bye.